Other than that.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 4:30, July 14th. I will call this meeting of the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the town of LaPointe to order. With us this morning, we have Mary Ross.
Here.
Jay Wiltz. Here. Susan Widmar.
Here.
Michael Collins.
Here.
Evan Erickson.
Here.
Myself, Glenn Carlson.
Here.
Staff present, we've got Lauren Berteau and Katie Kisner. From Miffle, it looks like we have Cal. Public present, we've got quite a few. Drummer Boys, Bob Va, Jeff Tooney, and thanks for joining us. I'll open the floor up to public comment. Go ahead, Paul.
Two things. Number one, thanks for having this meeting in a somewhat important meeting time in the morning. And second, I was curious, why does the traffic line coordinators always move the turn line up just before the boat lanes? I thought that after the town widened the dock, allow for more room, not less. Moving the line just before the boat lanes, you're creating a bottleneck at the end of the dock with passengers walking down both sides of the dock, while vehicles are disembarking, ferry, others are waiting to go on. When asked why this happens, the line coordinator won't say it's doing what they're told, and I just talked to her. My suggestion, don't move the line up, or if you need to create a through point every time a boat comes in, why not move the stop sign up to the passenger line, so it's one less thing the coordinators have to do.
Paul. Anybody else? Go ahead, Jeff.
Is this something I should be writing down and handing up?
I just do that, so I just quote it later on.
Yeah, well,
You know, that.
I'm used to that. Okay. Saturday, I had an interesting experience on the dock. I went to Menards, so I went over on the first boat on Saturday, got a round trip ticket, came back. And got into the line at, I think it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then when I got on the boat, I showed the ticket to the young man, and then he came on the boat and said, "You actually had a load past your tailgate, and we need to charge you." I said, "Okay, well, what is it?" And so it ended up, and I have a Ford F-150 pickup. When the tailgate is down, it's 20 feet. When it's up, it's under 19 feet. And so I had the routine of like water from 2x4s that stuck out past the, tailgate a little bit, like it was 3 feet below. And so instead of paying $12.50 for my senior discount, I had to pay $43 because of 3 feet extra. And I went in and talked to Leanne about it, and she explained that it's like trailer. Now I have trailer, so you're being charged extra because you're beyond 19 feet. You go into the next category, and your senior card does not apply now. Now you're being charged like you're a tourist. So I'm just wondering if there's a way for the Harbor Commission to look into, another category where somebody who's and then I was told if you have your tailgate up and the lumber is sticking out, which I could have done, you don't get charged. So that was good to know. I didn't know that until I paid my $43. So I'm wondering though, if there's a category where you can have that in between space of not being charged all that extra money like you're hauling a trailer. That's what I was told. It's like you're hauling a trailer. You're being charged like you're hauling a trailer. And then I said, I could have put 2 more vehicles behind me for less than that with my senior discount card. It doesn't make sense to be charged that much money for 3 extra feet of lumber. And they said, pick it up with the harbor commission, there's a meeting tonight, so we're gonna.
That 43 feet one way.
$43 for my vehicle, one way.
Because it made your vehicle
That much longer.
that much longer. It
Right.
wasn't really a trailer, it just.
That's
They-
we into the next
Yeah,
category,
right.
yeah.
But
And it would have been 5, the way you described it, 5 feet total extra length beyond the closed tailgate?
I would say under 5. The one in the tailgate, 2 feet. Yeah, so around, yeah, I would say around 5 feet. But,
plus you already paid for the one way. The whole.
oh yeah, and then, you know, I won't go into the other drama that's happened, you know,
Right.
the young man, and again, I have nothing against 16-year-olds working on the dock. We have a lot of young people in positions where they're having to do a lot of problem solving, which I would have really struggled with, I think, when I was that age, so. And he actually thought I was trying to sneak onto the boat with, you know, this return pass. I said, no, I was just, I had my pass, I was getting on, so if I need to pay extra, that's fine, I'll do that. But I think it would be nice, my second comment, it would be nice, like I remember years ago, it seemed like a lot of those young people were college age kids. 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds. To me, it seems like we have a lot more to 16 and 17-year-olds doing those jobs. And I have nothing against that, but it might be nice to mix in more experience with 16-year-olds.
I feel your sentiment. Certainly discuss this when it comes to the drafting of the tariffs. They are length on base, based on length, but we have to keep this meeting moving. Is there more public comment?
Just want to thank the harbor commission for having a meeting in the evening. Jeff Point, I know you charged something extra for having snowplow on a truck. It didn't seem like that's $43. It's like, what, $5 or something like that for a plow, $7. Maybe something up to so many feet could be applied to that, so a snowplow. To my brother's point, I still don't understand why you have to move up 3 car lengths in the morning, idle there for 10 minutes while the boat comes in. I thought that's right, the dock, we didn't have to worry about that. Apparently that's not true. But yeah, I don't know. We're not be here in the morning, but thanks, Zach.
Anything else from anyone? I do have a letter here that I guess I almost forgot to read. To whom it concerns, I was very upset this morning when I was 15 minutes early in line for the 8:30 ferry. They loaded the ferry and it left full boat. I was told then, still with 2 full lanes of traffic waiting to leave, that there wasn't another ferry until 9:30. Why in July on a Monday morning? We missed my girl's dentist appointment that was scheduled a year ago. There were 3 other ferries sitting on the side. Now around 9 o'clock, the line was past town hall. I don't understand why there wasn't another boat to get people off the island like there used to be. If there were people waiting, they'd run another boat, question mark. I wasn't the only unhappy one either. Please address this at your meeting this afternoon. Sincerely, Cole McNally. There's no more public comment then. Let's move on to the minutes of the July 3rd meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes of Thursday, 3.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Chief Administrative Officer report.
Yes, I have the current balance of the Harbor Commission bank accounts. This was as of Friday, the 11th. The Miffle Utility checking account was at $1,377,438.93. The July revenue as of Friday, we were at just under 408,000. That is about 31.7% of the budgeted income for the month of July. So that's Friday, the 11th. I've also included the breakdown of pretty much like the July 4th weekend, 2024 versus 2025, the passenger counts, as well as, I mean, it does have May, June, and that kind of July 4th weekend in there. All in all, it does seem like we were down roughly about 20%. But it does look like for the month of June and July, we did come back a little bit, not quite to where we want to be, but not as low as we were as far as traffic goes during the month of May. That leads me into a budget meeting update. So Zach, Gwen, myself, and Robin and Cal met. Is that last week? Last week. And just based on the traffic numbers, the passenger counts, and what the revenue is looking like, we are just going to keep the budget, the 2025 budget numbers the same for right now. We're not going to make any adjustments to that.
On both, this is June to June comparison.
Yeah.
We're over on adults and cars versus previous year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. And that's what, and Robin and Cal mentioned that it's great to see that. That's not always the case when you're that below your traffic numbers in May. So hopefully
Keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
that through July. On December 1st, we do have the NAN interest and revenue bond debt service payments due. I would recommend to the Harbor Commission that by the end of July, we transfer $91,755.01 from the Mithil utility account into our debt service savings account. That would be the second of the 6 transfers so that we have the funds in that account before December 1st. Mike did reach out to me from Dockside, inquiring about how to renew their lease after October. I did send him the current copy of the lease, or a copy of the current lease, and asked if it's pretty straightforward lease, but I asked if he did have any requests for changes to please send them our way. I included a copy of the current lease. I did let him know that the Harbor Commission would also be reviewing that lease and that I would be sending him any changes that we would be wanting to make on our end. But they are wanting to renew it.
We charge Trek and Trail, whatever that business is called, for a 12-month lease. They pay something every month. It's graduated, higher in the summer season. We don't charge Dockside anything in the winter. Is there a reason why?
Precedent.
Because they store stuff there, just like Trek and Trail stores all their stuff in the cooperage.
Duly noted. Given the word. Chance to change that. We have a chance to change it.
Lease. It's only 6
Oh,
months.
May through October.
Well, that's, this is the termination of the lease. It's the final 6 months.
Yeah.
The lease terminates, they pay all year.
Yeah, that's what
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
It's just that, the lease expires, this lease expires October 31st, 2025. So it wasn't for a full year, this lease was for a 6-month period.
It's dated May 14th of 2024.
That's when we had the new lease created.
Made adjustments to
So they paid
Through the 13th.
through the whole winter of 24 and this spring at that rate.
We renegotiated the lease in May of
24.
24.
They reached out to us about they wanted assurance that they would have.
to go through at least 25. Okay.
They wanted an 18-month lease, basically.
We also adjusted their lease payment to match what the building costs us for interest and the purchase.
Yeah, that was the purpose for renegotiating it.
We heard back from,
Nothing yet. I think I said this at the beginning of last week.
Were they talking about a term?
Yeah.
They did not provide a term. I haven't heard back since he said, told me thank you for the current lease, but I have not heard back any requests yet.
I guess it would be a year. Because I don't think they want
Stop before summertime, yeah.
Maybe two. something.
to, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
2 years.
We have time between now and October though to go over anything we might want to change, right? So.
I just wanted everybody to have a copy of it. And I mean, how this lease is written, it's the main areas of adjustment. I mean, it's the price and then the rates. It's not quite as detailed out as the trail.
Yeah, I thought there was something in here about insurance requirements and stuff, but I don't see anything of that.
But they're not looking for a motion today, right?
No.
No, I just wanted to put it out there that they have it, now we have it, we should be looking at it.
Okay.
I would say follow up and see what, if they do have an idea of what their terms are. And if anyone on the board would like to make any amendments to it, we could add it to the agenda for the next meeting.
It should probably be on the agenda until we renew it.
I did speak with both Ray and Cal about Ray visiting over at the herring shed. Ray doesn't have any sort of like official write-up, but he did go over there and he said that the damage that is over there at the herring shed, it's probably a little bit more than what Miffle was originally thinking. And it's also just something that like he is not going to have the time to do. And he doesn't think that the town has time to do. And also just by looking at it, how he did, he said that you can't really know the extent of the damage until you're actually in there doing it. So we did give Cal the go ahead to start getting quotes for that. Last thing on my report, it was requested for Miffle to consult with the Harbor Commission about making any permanent changes to the new office area and the information center. Due to a communication error, there has now been a permanent door, which I have recently been notified that it could be taken out if needed. But there's been a permanent door and wall added to the back of the information center. It's not stapled in, but Miffle did provide kind of a write-up of the project as well as the materials purchased for that project. It's a loose leaf paper probably at the back of.
$972.
For Bayfield lumber. It was done in-house over 2 days.
So is this office space summertime only?
I would imagine that, I mean, so it sounds like, has 2 Miffle employees back there now. Both of those are year-round employees.
Yeah, I'm just because as far as I understand, there's no heat in that building.
Yeah, and Robin had mentioned that, briefly about that being another, when I originally walked through it and saw that there was the temporary door there, that was another reason that was on the list for being able to heat an area and not it be freezing cold in there for people to work. So I'm assuming that they have planned for people to be in there during the winter time.
Go ahead, Cal.
Yeah, that whole main level of the building is heated They've been in that space for probably about 8 months now. But yeah, the reasoning behind that, the door in the wall is for privacy from the general public. And then in the winter to reduce the area in which we heat. So we can keep it to the office space and then keep the rest of the building, significantly cooler.
So there'd be no new furnace or no additional heating required in there, just what's in there would need to be turned up.
How is it heated right now?
Electric floorboard heaters. So no, it wouldn't need anything additional. In this last winter, we were using that space and it stayed adequately heated. We tape windows to do the best to keep the heat costs down. This is another measure to keep that down. Future recommendations would be upgraded windows to help with that. But there would be no other changes needed to be made to the building for it to continue to do what it's doing.
We did see a jump in the Excel bill from what we were planning. Could that electric heat be a part of that?
Well, so what we just paid May expenses, that was for May. And I have not sat down with Robin yet. That is all I had for my report.
What part of the budget is that, or the money for that wall and stuff being taken off of?
I don't know where that would fall into. I would assume that, I'm not gonna actually assume, so I don't know. That would have to be a discussion. That's why, because it was specifically asked to be consulted with us before those changes were made. I asked Robin the list of the expenses that we would be seeing for that. So I figured that can be decided once.
Anything else for Katie?
Make a motion to put Katie Kisner's Harbor Commission Chief Administrative Report, Officer's Report on file.
Second it.
Just discussion for the file, will you change June to July
At the end of, yeah. I do.
on number 5?
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you.
Good catch.
Yes, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye, as amended.
Opposed? Motion carries. NIFL on-call employee trailer benefits. Oh, Harbor Assistance Program project updates. Thank you.
So we've got 2 major updates on that. Start with the good. Yankee came up on site on Friday and reviewed the project. In speaking with Steve Yankee, the owner, and kind of going through all the details and the problems and nuances of the dock, there's really nothing there that's unique to him, and feels that it's a very straightforward project with an anticipated start date currently of July 29th, and then sticking to the anticipated finish date of August 19th. So of the 1 month allotted, they're on the back 2 weeks of it. So that's the current anticipation as far as from Yankee, if we can get the contract signed. The bad news at this point is we submitted for a permit with the DNR over a month ago. And when we initially spoke with them, there wasn't any major concerns. It's behind a bulkhead line, which allows repair and modification without needing, extensive research or paperwork. And on the 29th day, they have 30 days to comment. On the 29th day, they raised, which was last week, raised quite a few questions about it, and then none of them are really detrimental, just some kind of points that we felt were addressed, but they wanted more clarification on. But the problematic one is they've now changed their opinion from what it originally was, stating they believe it needs to go to a 30-day public comment, which would then have to start now, which would essentially push the whole project timeline back. So we're working with them and working with their supervisors to, kind of explain we did our due diligence. We asked these questions, what they needed from us and what they expected from us. Now, months ago, filed the paperwork, got everything in a timely manner, expected no surprises, and then, we're given a pretty significant surprise on the last day. So we're working on that, but I don't have any answers until that's solidified. But we'll update Katie and Zach with any updates as they happen.
How is Yankee with the potential of this being delayed another potentially couple of weeks?
He was fine with that. That wasn't, I explained it to him that, I don't want to raise the alarm, but I do want to make him aware that this is the route it may go, and it didn't have a major impact on the project for him.
Thank you.
Anything else for Cal?
Does this DNR permit include dredging, or is that a different permit?
This does not include dredging. We're doing no dredging during this project, this portion of the project.
Are we ready to move on then to Miffle on-call employee trailer benefits?
Okay, so we did some research on this, and we found some key points here, and the biggest concern would be if it's used for business use, it has to be claimed on income taxes on a 1099 issued. So if it was ever used for a business purpose, the amount of the ticket would have to be noted in a 1099, and then the employee would have to pay taxes on that as regular income. So for personal, that wouldn't be the case. So if somebody was taking over a trailer for personal use, that as we currently understand it, that wouldn't be the case. This would only be for business use. That they would, the benefit of the trailer would have to get claimed in its total cost, or the car, the trailer, the person would have to get claimed on a 1099. So, to the employee, they would have to pay taxes on it. However, it would still be less than, paying full rate on it. So, there's all of the other pieces as before, that this benefit would only be intended if it doesn't displace another paying customer, and then if it's for business, we would find a way, through maybe a mag card, a separate mag card being used for it to track it, but finding a way to track it for taxes.
I think it's an awful lot of paperwork for a pretty minor benefit for someone.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like there would be another way we could find to incentivize without it making it so messy.
Kind of incentivize just people who have trailers too.
Right, that's what I'm saying, a broader thing that
Yeah.
I kind of agree. But
And the reason, this isn't something specific that I, envisioned. It was something that was brought to my attention by, a couple of our employees, that have used that benefit in the past and that it was significant to them. And, you know, to the extent that it was a pretty big deal breaker for one of them, for the other one, not so much. Now, again, I think the on-call pay may be enough to sway, you know, that this isn't as big of an issue. But I wanted to bring this up and, you know, explore it as a possibility. So again, if the Harbor Commission doesn't feel that it's worth the complexity of it, it was something I was exploring on behalf of our EMS on-call staff.
So just to clarify, currently they can bring a trailer for personal use as part of this fringe benefit, but
No, as of right now, so historically speaking, Islanders were allowed to bring a trailer, you know, so long as they said it wasn't for business use. Now, that got very gray quickly, because if you were, you know, bringing over hay to feed your animals, you know, that you sold the product of them, is that business use or not? Is it, you know, business use going over empty? So again, that's how it used to be when it was a private company, right? And so when it became publicly owned, you know, we followed the rule as it's written to the T, right? And so we cut off, you know, that the ability to do that, which, you know, again, caused this discussion to start. So as of right now, the rule still stands. You cannot use the free benefit at all for business. And there is currently no trailer allowed. So right now it's, you know, yourself, a guest, and your vehicle is the benefit. And then, you know, there's some extensions of that, but that's it in a nutshell.
I would be opposed.
To a certain length.
I would be opposed to going forward with this for a lot of different reasons, including it really is discriminating in favor of employees who happen to have trailers. What about the employee that doesn't have a trailer? How are they getting compensated additionally for the work that they're doing? So I think that there's an equity issue at play here with pay. And I don't like the idea of us doing this kind of fringe thing on a spot basis for different people having different deals.
I also heard Islanders, you know, getting this benefit.
Islanders meaning any Islander or island-based employees?
That's true, whichever way you want to go.
I mean, it would
Near
be,
Bayfield based.
it'd be island-based employees that would take an, island-based employees would be the one most likely to
But
use it.
it's another, you know, discriminatory application.
do we need a motion, or are we, sounds like we're all in agreement to not allow trailer benefit?
I think Glenn made a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we decline to extend trailer benefits to Miffle on-call employees, and I'm guessing any Miffle employees, unless they're using it for Miffle purposes or town purposes.
I'll second that. There's no further discussion. All in favor?
I abstain.
Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Phil.
Next up, discuss Miffle staff housing lease agreement.
I never had to sign a rental agreement like this when I
Holy smokes.
renting for 6 months.
Seriously.
Right.
And it's already done, so there's really nothing for
I did want to bring up that based on the pricing and everything, it is going to be above what it's above what the Harbor Commission approved.
Well, how much?
Well, I mean,
If you look at,
and maybe Cal, you can clarify this. I was not able to get a hold of Robin before the meeting. So it looks like it's the $650 for the rent, but then there's the additional charges for the utilities, the electric, the gas, plowing, and Norvato, correct?
Yeah, so originally it was 700 if it was split three ways. On this renewal, which Karen didn't have at the time, they upped the cost of this renewal. So what was originally supposed to be 700 split by three people is now approximately 783 to be split by three people.
$783 times 3.
Times
Right.
three, yeah.
So this
So the
says,
grand total, whatever that grand total is divided by 3 is $783 a month.
As I understand it, yes.
Difference of $83, because
A
we
month.
approved 700, right?
and then an additional 100, yeah, so it's 100, well, I guess,
Plus 100,
If you're-
but there's 83, or a third of $83. So
Cal, is your 783, is that including the utilities?
Yes, that was the number given to me by Karen.
Okay,
So that's what I'm going off of. Yes, that's
Okay.
with everything split fairly three ways.
Shows like an Excel bill is $354 per month.
it's additional 300 some dollars annually then, above what we approved. I think that's probably within 5%, which would be reasonable.
I agree.
Well, I'll move that we authorize the additional payment for the rental agreement.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Could I make a quick comment on the house as well?
Sure.
I just wanted to say again, thank you for doing this. I have a current somebody applying applicant who this house would allow them to stay on the island for 2 months until additional housing becomes available. If all of this goes through, they're looking to become a deckhand and a captain. So having this as an option immediately has opened up a window to get somebody on the island, to get a crew member in when we desperately need them, much sooner than they would be able to. So it's opened already, if everything again proceeds as planned, a pretty significant window, and putting another person on the island able to run EMS.
Now, when you say applicant, do you mean a new employee?
Yes. So there's it's currently we're in discussions. We haven't agreed on all the aspects of their employment yet. But one of the things was that they couldn't start until October because they couldn't get a space up here to start until October. And so, having this as an option would not only put a deckhand on, the island, but allow them to start that much sooner, as early as August 11th. So, that it's just opened up another option, and it puts another boat crew person on the island.
A couple meetings ago, you mentioned that there was already a current employee looking to go into that housing. So that employee no longer wants to go there?
No, they were going there at request, right? So are you willing to go over there for a couple of weeks? They said, yes, if needed, I'd be able to, go over there. Well, their partner wasn't in town. They were thinking a couple of weeks at a time, up to maybe a month or so. So again, it's at this stage, it's just about making sure that it's, being utilized for EMS with a preference given to, a captain. So at this point, if we can get someone in there filling that role, that'd be great. And it's only temporary that they'd be in there. And then again, it would go back to, having people go on the island as needed for as long as they're able to.
So how, this person that's gonna be moving in there, how many nights a week will they be covering? Because this housing was meant for having employees to do emergency runs and to cover 7 days a week.
Right. Well, there was like you are aware yourself, is that it'd be very unlikely, even if I put someone in there, a current employee, current captain, to have them covering 7 days a week, as that is incredibly strenuous. It is really intended to get people over there and fill gaps and, volunteer, at least 2 to 3 days of every week.
So this person will cover 2 to 3 days. That's going to be going in there.
Yes, of every week.
And they're not moving in there full time.
No, it'd be only temporary.
For the 2 months.
Yep.
What's the difference between this person and the one who's being hired?
And why are we paying Karen to clean up after someone who's living there full time? It's a whole different kind of game.
Well, again, it's going to be, some months will be like that. Some months somebody will be there 3 days, or some weeks, 3 days, sometimes a week, sometimes a month. It depends on the situation. So I think $100, is going to wash out when we have situations where we're having, potentially 2 to 3 staff going in there throughout a week. Those are going to be significantly more intensive periods, which is what we've had to do in the winter before. That's why we've rented historically the, I can't remember the name of that place, but that
Bungalows.
the bungalows. Thank you.
Through Hartsel.
Yes. So there's definitely times where it's needed more frequently and we get more people through. And then there's times where we can have more extended stays.
Will this eliminate the need then for the Hartsel rental through the winter?
Yes. Hopefully. The Hartsel rental could accommodate, it had like 2 separate rooms to it, which was an advantage. But yes, I am hoping that this would eliminate the need for that. Sometimes we'd have to send over whole crews, like 2 people that are unrelated to sleep in separate areas. We were able to do that with the Hartsel, but again, I'm hoping that, one person, or sometimes we have 2 crew who are both boat crew, but able to share a room. They'd be able to take benefit of that. But yes, at this time, I don't anticipate renting the Hartsel unit.
Already had a motion. Gary.
I'll call the vote then. All in favor?
Aye. Oh, we already did that. didn't we?
No, we already did.
Oh, we did. Yeah. That's right. He came back after. Next up, letter for school transportation summer protocol.
Thought the letter seemed pretty straightforward and addressed the concerns by Miffle.
It needs to state though, that this is just during the summer months, the non-school months.
Yeah, I think
It
it
doesn't-
does discuss
It should be
difference.
hammered. It should be hammered home.
Yeah.
Should be a headline.
Yeah.
Do we have anything in there that, such incidences that we had that we discussed last meeting may result in the suspension or loss of the benefit?
No. We trust the students will exhibit their best behavior.
It's got no teeth.
I don't know if that's language we want to add in or just leave it out and let's. Because we don't want to have that happen again.
Who drafted this?
I think Leanne.
It's in it.
Cal, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So the one thing that I would be concerned about is if that violated the contract with the school for some reason. And so I don't know if that's a consideration, but adding that into next year's contract, stating.
The summer protocol though really doesn't have anything to do with the school contract. I was kind of under the impression that there were going to be 2 separate letters drafted, one for the remainder of the summer and then an updated system potentially. once the
The-
contract is approved with Bayfield? for next
Yeah,
year?
we're able to do this essentially year round. So if a student were to show up at 6 p.m., they could present their picture on their phone. So this would ultimately be a year round thing. The reason we were looking at it was summer versus later was because when Robin and I were discussing it the other day, there were some areas that we weren't in sync on, and I just wanted to focus on getting something out. But ultimately, after discussing this with Katie and this would be able to work year round. So this rule wouldn't ultimately wouldn't change. We'd still request that they use their pass, during the regularly chaperone trips, just because it can expedite them getting on the boat. We don't have to print out a specific ticket. They can hand the pass and they can just walk on. We can get the pass to them later. But any time where it would be just like a normal ticket transaction, they're welcome to show the picture on their phone as an acceptable means. But then they have to wait just like a regular customer to have a ticket printed.
It does discuss the difference in here for the daily chaperone trips.
Yep.
But it
Versus,
doesn't hammer out that, see, it makes it look like they're free all the time and they're not free. The school district pays
In the
for
winter.
each student during the school
Yeah, the
year.
headline here is this is a summer.
This is just a summer program for this.
Well, he's kind of saying that it's can be implemented throughout the school year also.
I think what he's discussing, showing your passes on your phone digitally.
It's
I
like you
think.
can do that year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what you're discussing, right,
That's-
Cal?
Right.
Yes.
You
Yep.
use your phone. in the
Yep.
winter.
So that
Yeah.
this policy that goes out is we don't have to do another one and another one and another one. As far as the students and parents are concerned, we can put this one out and their protocol will stay the same year round. If you're on a chaperone trip and you just want to walk on the boat, VIP pass, hand your ID pass to the boat crew and you can continue on the boat. Without that, you just have to, at least be able to show a picture of it on your phone and we will print you out a ticket.
Yep.
To Evan's point, you could maybe add something to the effect that could result in the loss of summer privileges.
The behavior.
Yeah. Or we could leave it out.
I mean, hopefully it was a one-off, and it sounds like Cal addressed it with that person at that time. I just soon leave it out unless everybody
too.
really wants to.
Yeah, it was the one off. Let's see if that happens again. That's a different matter.
Yeah, Mark can calm down.
And a letter could go directly just to the person.
Right.
Just saying, hey, if you continue this, you could lose your privileges entirely.
And hopefully this picture solution can help prevent some other issues in the future as well.
All right, well, looks good to me. We asked to review it, so maybe motion to approve it. I'll second.
Just for discussion, once it's signed, you guys will be mailing it out? Nicole?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
You're the president of the Harbor Commission.
Oh, yes, I guess I saw that too. Did you catch that, Cal?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. No.
On the signature, Zach's title is president and not chair.
Okay, we will correct that.
Opposed? Motion carries
Yes, amended.
as amended. Next up is consider approval of contract with Yankee General Contractors, the HAP project.
So Cal talking about that DNR permit and how it could push things out. Sign this contract and we have a change of, it says here September 8th would be the completion date. But if we're held up by the DNR permit, are we gonna have any sort of upcharges or legal issues? be cut with that if we approve this contract and sign it?
I would imagine.
That's a good question.
I can, all I can say is if we don't have a signed contract, or the longer it takes for us to get a signed contract to them and back, they're not going to order any materials. So if we are able to get through the DNR issue, but we don't have a contract, they will not order materials or again, commit to the project until they have a signed contract.
Max read this?
He had no concerns with it.
The DNR permit?
He was not aware that.
The DNR, no,
I think that's something we
yeah.
ought to be expressed somewhere in there, because that's an issue as we sign it. We don't know.
What if we were to sign it, without,
Contingent on.
yeah, and I think the contract times, Article 4.01.
Yeah.
Time is of the essence, if we can say that we're signing it with the exception of having time of the essence because we're not sure what the time is yet. Does that work for everyone? Cal?
It kind of cuts out a bit when you talk, Glenn. I apologize. So I could only caught some of that.
Okay, so if we're saying that the dates that are in the contract before us might very well change depending on what the DNR does, it would seem that by striking the 4.01, at least for the present time, until you have the dates figured out, that we would take out the time is of the essence provision. So all time limits for milestones, substantial completion, readiness are of the essence. So I think if I don't know, if we took that out, it would seem that would give us more flexibility on the dates.
I do know that there was a portion in the bid language that specified that, the start date and the project completion was dependent upon the permits. And that was spelled out in the bid documents. So, that might be maybe a cleaner way to, add that line, start date, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like it would work to me, but I'm not the one who wrote this contract. So I just wouldn't,
Yankee write it?
no, Cooper Engineering. It's they wrote it on behalf of us.
Well, should they think about what the best way to have the contract as with the DNR permits being up in the air?
I think that would be excellent. I'm sure they'd be able to make sure that language reflects, that potential. The only thing that I'd say is that I'm pretty certain they'd be able to make those edits relatively quickly, and we would just want to make sure that, in order at this stage, in order to keep the timeline starting on the 29th, they need to order materials essentially tomorrow. They need to get started on that. So I don't know. I'm sure I could get Cooper to edit it quickly. I don't know what it would take then to get it back to the Harbor Commission and what you guys would need to turn around and sign it.
Have a special meeting. Just do it.
We could just approve it and Zach could sign it. We could approve it on those conditions and then Zach could sign it upon.
We don't know what the conditions are.
Yeah, we'd have to see the
What are
condition.
these little sub dealies here that's 4.02 or 403 not used, 404 not used, and sub 3 not used. Is that already?
That's what they.
Well, if they haven't plugged them in, this is what we're talking about signing. And these are the issues that we're up against because of the DNR. We got something to solve.
That's if they're late.
Yeah, if they're late.
Yeah.
I thought it was 500, it's 300 in here.
Oh, okay.
So the time is of the essence to protect us, right?
Well, it's, yeah, because then if they don't meet that completion date.
Yeah.
And they're charged. I thought it was $500 a day, but in here it's $300.
They're the ones who should be more concerned about the setback than us, right?
But if we don't have our permit, then that's on us.
And they,
Thing until we have-
I guess my sentiment is that if they're not concerned about it, why should we? They're the one incurring the penalty if this is late, if for some reason the DNR were to put us out by 30 days, and we were to try to complain about it, it's their concern, not ours, correct?
Well, has Yankee signed this yet?
No, they have not signed it yet. No.
They haven't
Because
even.
Why don't we let
I was
them
gonna-
worry?
Have they
As soon
seen
as
this? Have they seen this contract yet?
Yes, my understanding is that Cooper has shared that contract with them. We would, once I have it, I would have to overnight it to them to get signed, and then they can proceed.
Well, I'll move that we approve the agreement as presented.
I'll second.
For discussion, we could we could sign the notice of award without signing the actual contract this time until it's,
Already signed the notice.
Yeah, we did that.
So we, I don't.
it's been, I think,
We approved it.
yeah, but it hasn't been signed.
Al, is there a sense that they would accept just a notice of award for right now and have the contract combined for the dates, or is that going to be a problem?
I think they understand where we're at and what we're working on. I could definitely, if that's the most comfortable avenue here, I could pose that. I think they may be open to it. They understand what we're doing. They understand that we're moving forward. We're not looking to, get out by any means. We're trying to make this work. And again, they were not overly concerned about a pushback. I said, it's got to be done this year, but would it make any difference if it was now or 2 weeks or a month or fall? And he said no, because ultimately he views this as a very quick 2-week project that they can get done. So it didn't, come off as a big deal.
Well, how about if we sign the notice of award and let them know that we're comfortable signing the agreement that they are?
Yeah, Jay's point is central. This is for our benefit.
Right.
We have to find something. They want to sign, fine.
this doesn't mention, oh, there it is, bidder, got it.
Yep.
So my motion is to approve the agreement between the owner and contractor, assuming the contractor is fine with it, and that also we will sign the notice of award immediately.
I'll second that.
Jay already did.
Who did it? Oh, good, Jay did.
I'll call the vote then. All in favor? Aye.
That's me.
Opposed? Yeah, if they're good with it,
Whenever they're ready.
we're good with it.
Just to clarify.
Motion carries. Consider paying off Bremer line of credit.
600,000.
It is, and just before we discussed that one, I've included an email from Katie, our treasurer, in here regarding, and it's the next line item.
I'll make a motion that we move agenda item 12 up.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I just wanted to make sure, and I was told that the sooner that we can pay back the town, it would greatly benefit them. I was also told that it's not make or break if it is not approved at this meeting, but the sooner the better. Right now, when I see what's in our utility account versus the expenses that are coming up. By the end of July, I think we can pay back at least the 600,000, whether we do the full 600,000 line of credit or if we want to do.
Including the town?
No, so that would be just the Bremer.
Yeah.
So you could do the Bremer 600,000, or, I mean, I guess it's also an option to do pay back the town and then half of.
How much is the
credit?
Bremer interest?
Bremer is 7.5, the town is 5.
So if I'm looking at this, we're talking about $900,000, right?
And the,
We have $1,377,000 in the utility account.
so the is from Friday morning. There was a check for 343,000 deposited, or that Miffle deposited at the end of the day, Friday.
So we're around $1 million.
1.1 million. I did just receive $104,000 payroll reimbursement, as well as we are wanting to transfer the 91,000. So if I take those immediate expenses out, we're looking closer to like 957,000. So I would be hesitant to pay. I mean, that's not factoring in the revenue that's coming in, but
Based on cash flow, what's the maximum amount that you think that we can put towards these loans?
well, I'd have to pull up the rest of the expected revenue for July. I can say with certainty that we're at 600,000 mark, that we are comfortable, like I would be comfortable doing that. I also would say I'm probably erring on the side of caution just because of how things got during the spring.
Could we pay down Bremer, since that's the higher interest, and then the next meeting, see where finances are and look at paying back?
I did let the town know that, I mean, ideally, based on like what we had presented for cash flow, we would have that paid back, both the full line of credit and the town by August.
Can the town wait until the end of August?
When I mentioned that to them, that did not seem an issue, but they did try to express.
Because it's significant amount of money. I mean, I'm just doing rough math, but it's tens of thousands of dollars in difference on the interest payment between 600,000 and 300,000,
And
2.5% difference.
Yes. And that's.
So I mean, it's a big savings. If we can put off that to the end of August, then I think we could probably do both,
I
right?
did tell them that that would have been what I would recommend at the moment, to not do that to 900.
Even though the town is not a bank, I would frankly rather pay interest to the town than the bank.
And the town's not paying interest. It's not borrowing money to do this. And so I think that, yes, let's pay the 600,000 immediately, and then the next meeting, let's look at the 300,000 and see where we are. And then obviously the 90,000, I think we're going to probably back to the 91,000.
Oh, yeah. Then I have that by the, I just said by the end of July for that, but.
So I guess since we're on the town.
Yeah, we're on item 12.
So I would move that we request the town board extend our $300,000 loan until August 15th.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Hey,
Aye. Opposed? Back to agenda item 11, consider paying off Bremer line of credit.
What's the exact number? Or do we need to say an exact number?
600,000 plus interest if there's any accrued.
We've been on auto pay for our monthly payments for that.
I will make a motion that we pay the 600,000 to the Bremer line of credit.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
there isn't.
Motion carries. Next up, approval of debt service transfer.
I'll move that we transfer $91,755.01 from the Methel utility account to the debt service savings account. It says by the end of June, but I think we meant July. By the end of July.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, consider engagement letter for legal counsel.
I move that we approve the engagement letter with Von Briesen and Roper as they entered it.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of bills. I will move that we pay the bills totaling $16,580.05 as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Future agenda items.
The town's loan.
Any DNR permit update? We're gonna want, to keep a close eye on that. Back town,
The dockside lease.
Hmm.
And maybe young people are back and, if they're not okay.
Yeah, if it
Have that.
comes back.
I don't know if we need to have this as an agenda item, but, so this employee that's staying at the housing, that we're giving them 2 months of housing, is that an employee benefit that they need? I don't know. It's kind of just good, it's not just like a one night a thing, it's
At all, it's completely different.
But let's let Miffle work this through with their tax accountant.
yeah, we gotta find that, because I would assume that's a taxable benefit.
It could be. Yeah, I mean,
Unless they're paying their rent to Bethel.
you know, it's,
And then
there's
it's
some
not bad.
question as to whether or not it's for the convenience of the employer. So, I mean, rather than us, for this, I'd say, ask Miffle to consult with their tax accountant.
So that'll be, I don't know, what, you talk with them about that, Katie, then?
Yes.
When do we want to meet then?
Can we talk about setting, like, I don't know what night, but the third Wednesday of every month is our nightly meeting, and I don't know if we want to go first and third weeks, second and fourth weeks, just to kind of get it, instead of, I mean, I know things come up, I get that, but we're kind of jumping all over the board here.
Yeah.
You know, Thursday mornings at 9:30 is fine
Not
for
every-
one of
At
them.
least it's not every week anymore.
Right.
I mean, we could look at like August 7th, Thursday, August 7th as our evening meeting and try to stay with that first Thursday of the month as our evening meeting.
That would be our next meeting date then?
I'm just going on with Kate, Mary's,
Right.
What are we at right now? The second Monday?
This was just a one.
yeah.
How long can we go without meeting again? Let's start with that.
It'll be 2 weeks.
Your Thursday meetings, the 31st be in 2 weeks and 2 days from
Yeah.
today.
Which I will have June expenses by then.
Yes, I mean,
Okay, wait, that's another question. The report from Miffle and the expenses, do they just kind of come whenever we get them, or did we set a date? We'd like this by
I
X
try to
date?
provide all of the reports by the end of, like, the last meeting of the month. for the month prior. Because it usually takes
3 weeks.
that long, because I get the expenses halfway through the next month. So that usually gives me time to make sure that as much as can be in those as possible. I try to do that by the last meeting, but then sometimes we end up like skipping a couple weeks and then it's just presented at the next.
How about if we were to do a morning meeting on Thursday, the 24th? That gives a week and 3 days. And then hopefully you'll have the financials for June then, right?
When can you expect word from the DNR, Cal, if we need to do anything to get that permit done?
I mean, so the essentially the only question at hand with the DNR permit is, are they going to stick to the 30-day public comment period? That's the only issue that we have. The rest, the two other concerns they had were details and information that we already have that they would like provided more clearly. So that's really the question here is, and I don't know, I mean, I'm hoping for a resolution early this week, as far as are they, is the supervisor willing to say, we were told this by this person, we were told this by this person. So I would hope that we have resolution on it, but those are the two outcomes. And then, we move forward with either outcome at this stage. That's the only thing holding us back.
Reading through the letter from the DNR, it seemed like a lot of the outstanding issues were more related to the dredging, like how the sand was going to be dewatered, where it was going to be stored. Just curious how much of it is actually related to this first phase, as far as the issues that they're.
The dredging that they're referring to is like what we pump out of the well into the lake. So when we're dewatering the well, those are like the spoils. And so, yes, they might not understand that clearly. So a new person read it and they thought, well, this is different. But when I read that, what they're referring to is when you dewater the inside of the well and that water goes into the lake, how are you ensuring that, that material is properly being filtered, or, contaminants aren't going into the lake? And then if you do have to remove material from within the behind the seawall, where are those materials going? Again, we spelled that all out. So, this is kind of a surprise to Cooper Engineering as well as myself that they're asking for details that we've provided.
My suggestion is a week from this Thursday at 9 o'clock, and then Monday, August 4th at 4:30.
So on Monday?
Because
yeah,
everybody's here now. It's a Monday.
Is it the best night of the week for everyone for an evening meeting?
Monday works fine for me.
The room is.
I prefer to have Monday.
Okay.
We're on a Murph day.
Sounds good to me then.
Okay.
Everyone agrees. Does it work
So
for
are we gonna kind of go forward with the fourth Thursday is the morning meeting, and the second, but that's the second.
First Monday.
Then we're not giving enough time between two meetings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably figure out how this. I think we're getting to the point where we can do just 2 meetings a month. And so, but right now, I think that we need to figure out. I don't think we want to wait till the 4th to have our next meeting. Because that's
3 weeks.
I think that
or
might
whatever.
be a little.
Yeah.
A lot of emails.
Expenses.
Yeah.
Amount of time.
Yeah, so, but I think maybe, Mary, what we could do is after the meeting on the 4th, try to have the next one maybe be, I don't know, like on the 21st. a Thursday morning
Okay.
after the 4th. That's 17 days. Then if we can, like, the third Thursday and the first Monday. So the first Monday is the evening meeting and the third Thursday is the morning meeting. Just
Sure.
be it for me.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for, Mary, right? Some regular schedule so that we stick to a clock and count.
Not just me personally, but for everybody.
No, I.
Like town board meetings are always the second.
Right. Yep.
Tuesdays.
And have been forever, right?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
July 24th.
Public comment.
I thought that was 24th. I thought that was an AM.
It is.
Oh, I thought you said PM.
Go ahead, Cal.
Under public comment, if that's all right.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. I just wanted to update on, again, I understand because it's not on the agenda, but the complaint received about this morning, we are staffing, 3 boats. The extra boat does not, we have 1 boat come in, 1 boat crew come in at 6:30. We have 1 boat crew come in at 7, and then the third come in at 9. And we were unexpectedly down a captain for the 6:30 boat. So we had to pivot the second boat crew to the main boat, which got our second boat offline. We were able to keep up on the first trip just fine, but it wasn't until the second trip that we started getting people in, myself included, to get the additional boat running. But by that time, there was already some backup. We had it cleared pretty quickly after that. By 10 o'clock, we were totally caught back up again. But that's ultimately what led to, today. It wasn't that we were waiting or staff was sitting by, it's that we were unexpectedly down a captain. The second comment, I'm trying to keep this quick. We've just taken the Madeline offline, and I can answer if anybody has more specific questions after the meeting. I'd be happy to answer it through call or email. The Madeline has come on offline. We have some alignment issues that we're trying to deal with. I just dove on it to seal up so that we can inspect everything. It may be offline for as long as 5 days. In the meantime, we'll be using the Queen as our third boat, but we're trying to find some solutions that don't require such an extensive layup period.
Anybody else? I move we adjourn.
Oh, how about?
Oh, wait,
review of
yeah, let's do that.
management contract?
Dang it.
I'd like to go in closed session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that a motion then?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, Mary Ross.
Aye.
Okay, Will